Good Yontif.
Good Yontif.
Happy New Year. It's great to see everyone again. I feel like I should count for a minion, so not one, not two, not any. Pretty amazing times in which we live, but I'm glad to say that we're here. And so it's really great to see all of you. There were too many people in the room to really scan the full room. And with everyone in a mask, I have to look a little more closely at each person. But now, so it's a special treat to really see everybody's eyes today and really greet you, because many of us haven't seen one another for a very long time. So it's really good to see you in the sanctuary. We're joined by a number of people on Zoom as well. We're not going to place them up on the screens yet because it can be distracting. And I was commenting to Rabbi Harper, who, as you know, is new to our community. I'm a little embarrassed to say this, actually, Rabbi Harper. I forgot how beautiful this space was, actually. Last year, not only were we the only ones in the room, but the whole room wasn't open. We had walls put up, and it was cut off with cameras and TVs. And there's just something about this space, the natural light, the trees. I even love the shadows on Rosh Hashanah, of how they just cover behind us. So I just want to take in this space together. Welcome everyone on Zoom. We're thrilled that you're with us as well. You're in some extraordinary spaces too. Let's begin by introducing ourselves in the sanctuary by doing an eye glimpse or eye visit, and then on Zoom a heart tap, and then we'll begin together.
Boker Tov.
Boker Or.
What a good morning it is. And Boker Or, a morning filled with light. So on the top of page 106, there is a beautiful intention to be said before putting on the talit. I know many of you already have your talitot on, but I am going to wait just a moment as we feel and sing our way through this intention. There is a paradox in our tradition that God is so great, gadol, big, yet close to us at the same time. So we feel God's greatness, but we feel God's presence as well. And this intention uses the feeling of the talit being wrapped around us to bring God's closeness to us. So let's join together this beautiful melody that Noah brings to us.
ברכי נפשי את אדוני, אדוני אלוהי, גדלת מאוד, גדלת מאוד, גדלת מאוד, גדלת מאוד, גדלת מאוד, גדלת מאוד. אור והדר לבשת, אור והדר לבשת, ותאור השמה, נוטה שמיים קריאה, ברכי נפשי את אדוני, אדוני אלוהי, גדלת מאוד, 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 גדלת
And the blessing for putting on the talit, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hitatet v'tzitzit.
Amen.
So we turn to the top of page 108 as we thank God for the ability to wake up, to have our soul return to us to experience this great day.
This melody helps us to feel our voices rising inside of us, waking up, filling our bodies. And I hope that you'll join me with this melody. Moda ani lefanecha, moda ani lefanecha, moda ani lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam. That repeats, moda ani lefanecha, moda ani lefanecha, moda ani lefanecha,
each morning we recite Psalms of Praise, page 131. Josh is going to join us and cantor Zell together.
For this special setting, it's actually entitled Duet for Elul, and although we are in the month of Tishrei, we spend the month of Elul preparing us to reach new heights. And so this duet actually combines the psalm Achat Sha'alti with the psalm Esa Einai. I turn my eyes to the mountains. From where does my help come? Adonai ori ve'ishi mimira. Adonai ma'oz chayai mimi efchad. Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai otav akesh. Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai otav akesh. Shivti beveit Adonai kol yemei chayai. Lachazot benoam Adonai ulevaker b'nei charetz. Lachazot benoam Adonai ulevaker b'nei
On page 142, I invite you to rise if you're able as we join together with words of Baruch Hu.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? La 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 la, 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 la 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 la
You may be seated. We turn to page 144. For within the Yotzer prayer, a prayer that thanks God for creation and thanks God for light in the world, we say, thank you, God, for the wondrous works of creation with the words of Marabu. Baruch atah Adonai Yotzer HaMeorot. Page 150, I invite you to rise if you're able for the words of the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai
You may be seated. We join together on page 152 in the book, or the words on the screen with the words of Yehavta. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha, vidibarta baham, bishiftecha bevetecha, uvlechtecha vaderech, uvshochbecha, uvkumecha, ukshartam lehot al yadecha, vahayu letotafot ben enecha. Uchtavtam al mezuzot betecha, uvisharecha. Leman tizkeru v'asitem ekol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim leloechem Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem, Amen. On page 165, before we join together in words of Michamocha, let's read. They went forth from Egypt on a single night, but next time the miracle will be different. Once two sages were walking very early in the valley, and they saw the light of the morning star. Said one to the other, "This is how the redemption will be. The dawn breaks with a single ray of light, and bit by bit the sky is illumined until morning comes and darkness is gone. So the redemption will occur little by little, growing steadily and gradually until the world is full of light. Do not wait for a miracle or the sudden transformation of the world. Bring the day closer, step by step, with every act of courage, of kindness, of healing and repair. Do not be discouraged by the darkness. Lift up every spark you can and watch the horizon for the coming of dawn. Look closely. It has already begun."
שיבחו גאולים לשמך שפת הים, יחר כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו
Page 166, if you're able, I invite you to rise for the Amidah.
Cantor Suffren, will you join me, please? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor Hanora El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim V'konei HaKol V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot U'mevii Geula Livnei B'neihem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah Ata Gibor le'olam Adonai Mechayecha kol atah Rav le'Hoshia Morid Hatal Mechakel Chaim B'Chesed Mechayecha kol נאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי
You may be seated. On page 175, Unetana Tokef, let us embrace the day and its holiness. For this day is a throne of goodness and power. Please join with me. When the people of Israel do God's will, they strengthen God's power on high. But when the people of Israel fail to do God's will, they weaken, if one might say it, God's great power on high. So let this day recall your power and ours. Let it remind us of our promises kept and broken as we remind you of yours. Let this day be a throne of forgiveness. For today we are the accountants of our souls, the navigators of our hearts, seeking wholeness and new direction. And we seek you through signs of your presence in the arc of sacred history. I make this covenant not with you alone, but with those who are standing here with us this day, and with those who are not. God of ages past and future, and God of this day, as you were with our mothers and fathers, be with us as well.
ונתנה תוקף קדושת היום, כי הוא נורא ואיום, ובוא תינשא מלכותך, וייכון בחסד כיסאך, ותשב עליו באמת, אמת כי אתה הוא דיין ומוכיח ויודע.
Let us proclaim the sacred power of this day.
ובשופר גדול ייתקע, וקול דממה דקה ישמע.
A day whose holiness awakens awe
ומלאכים יחפצו, וחיו רעדה יוחץ.
and inspires praise. Your throne is love, O God. Your reign is truth. Page 178. On Rosh Hashanah, it is written. Uncertainty. Who will live and who will die. Who will die by plague?
בראש השנה יקראתנו, וביום צום כיפור יחתנו. בראש השנה יקראתנו, וביום צום כיפור יחתנו. מי ינוח ומי ינוח, מי ישקיט ומי יטורף,
Will be tranquil.
מי ישלב ומי יתייסר, מי יעני ומי יעשיר, מי יושפע ומי ירום. בראש השנה יקראתנו, וביום צום כיפור יחתנו. בראש השנה יקראתנו, וביום צום כיפור יחתנו.
But three things
ותשובה ותפילה וצדקה,
three things to transcend the harshness.
מעבירים את רוע הגזירה.
Teshuvah, prayer, tzedakah. And so now let us continue in silent prayer. Reading the pages is found in our prayer book. I invite you to explore the left side of the page at this time or look inside with your own reflections and meditations.
אלוהי נצור לשוני מירה ושפתי מדבר מרמה ולמקל אלי נפשי תדום ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה אלוהי נצור לשוני מירה ושפתי מדבר מרמה ולמקל אלי נפשי תדום ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה אלוהי נצור לשוני מירה ושפתי מדבר מרמה ולמקל אלי נפשי תדום ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה
Page 222. Loving Father, infinite power, gentle, forgiving, lofty, inscrutable, Avinu Malkeinu. Compassionate Mother, omnipotent Lord, comforting presence, fathomless mystery, Avinu Malkeinu. Our rock and redeemer, life of the universe, close to us always, yet impossibly far, Avinu Malkeinu. Embracing, confounding, accepting our frailty, decreeing our end, Avinu Malkeinu. None of these are true. None of these are you. Yet we stand as those before us have stood, summoned to judgment, longing for love, Avinu Malkeinu. May these words be a bridge. They come from our hearts. May they lead us to you. Rise for Avinu Malkeinu, page 223.
Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Koleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu lefanecha. malkeinu, Avinu Kadesh Aleinu, Shana Tova. Avinu malkeinu, Shema Kolenu, Shema Kolenu, Shema Kolenu. Avinu malkeinu, Avinu malkeinu, Avinu malkeinu, Chanenu v'aleinu, ki ein banu ma'asim, aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed, aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed, ve'hoshienu. Avinu malkeinu, Avinu malkeinu, Avinu malkeinu, Chonenu v'aleinu, ki ein banu ma'asim.
Hayom Harat Olam. Today is the day of the world's conception. On this second day of Rosh Hashanah, we read the recounting of the world's beginning. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz, when God began to create the heavens and the earth. As we stand still on the threshold of a new year spread out before us, we remember that we, created in the image of the Creator, have the enormous power in the year ahead to shape the people we want to be and the worlds that we wish to see. We continue with our Torah service beginning on page 227.
Ein kamocha va'Elohim Adonai, ve'ein kemaasecha, malchutecha malchut kol olamim, umemshaltecha bechol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed, Adonai oz le'amo yitein, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom.
Adonai, Erachum v'chanun, Erech apayim,
V'rav
Chesed v'emet,
notzer chesed la'alafim, nose avon la'fesha, v'chata v'nageh.
A little louder with our plea. Second time around. Adonai, Adonai, Erachum v'chanun, Erech apayim, v'rav chesed v'emet,
Notzer chesed la'alafim, nose avon la'fesha, v'chata v'nageh.
Third and last time,
חטא ונקה.
Affirming God is all around us.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh v'norah Shemo. Gadol Adonai iti, uneromema Shemo yachdav.
Once the Torah is resting, we'll all rest as well. And now it's resting. There is no hakafa once again this year. We apologize. But we're all in this together. So that just means we've taken the seventh inning stretch away. So if you need to stretch, you're invited to do so. It's a beautiful day in New England. Doors are open. Take your masks off, but don't take them off in here. We'll make sure we're all safe. Do we need to roll the scroll? That's what I thought. So then, where's Noah?
We're just rolling on the river over
Can we
here.
get you for 1 second?
We're right there, Rabbi.
I was going to do this anyway, and then I forgot. I was
yeah?
hoping on day 2 we could get like a Torah song that is the equivalent of Take Me Out to the Ball Game and Sweet Caroline, all wrapped into one. Because we missed the Hakafa music. We talked about that yesterday. So then I was
Yeah.
like, it's not so bad that we didn't roll the
You know,
scroll in advance.
it's okay. I thought we would just talk about, I was thinking about Big Wheels Keep on Turning. Proud Mary.
I'm curious what Noah chooses. Can we do one Hakafa song?
Oh.
Let's all rise. Let's get the stretch in. Torah tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Torah tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Torah tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, Torah, Torah.
All right.
Torah tziva lanu Moshe.
We are so
Toda
ready.
rabah. Let's all be seated. We are going to learn Torah first. It is our tradition on day 2 to invite a member of our congregation to share a brief word of Torah. And I'm thrilled that Karen Tab has agreed to share with us this morning. Karen is a macher at TBE, meaning she plays some very important roles, lending her wisdom to our community in so many different facets of temple life. And so I'm deeply grateful for her agreeing to address the Torah portion this morning. Let's put you up here. And for getting tested and PCR and all that good stuff.
Yes, yesterday negative. Woohoo. Shana Tova, everybody.
Shana Tova.
Chag Sameach and Shana Tova. It's an honor and privilege to deliver the Dvar Torah today, the second day of Rosh Hashanah. Thank you, rabbis, for inviting me. It is a true privilege. Today we read in Bereshit chapter 1, verse 1. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz, והארץ הייתה תוהו ובוהו וחושך על פני תהום, ורוח אלוהים מרחפת על פני המים. ויאמר אלוהים ויהי אור, ויהי אור. וירא אלוהים את האור כי טוב, ויבדל אלוהים בין האור ובין החושך. When God began to create heaven and earth, the earth being unformed and void, with darkness over the surface of the deep, and a wind from God sweeping over the water, God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw the light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness. These are the moments, days, and week in which God began the act of creation, providing us the world order as we know it, the routine of days we so take for granted. When my two children were younger, they attended the Jewish day school in San Francisco Bay Area. Every day began with an all-school assembly where they would routinely recite the morning prayer, the one which we actually recited this morning. Moda ani lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam, she'achzarta bi nishmati b'chemla raba emunatecha. This prayer gives gratitude for waking up and the gift of being able to breathe the life into every day. I loved standing with them in assembly, starting my day with a moment of gratitude, and often wondered what it meant for them, if anything at all. Years later, I witnessed my father in the final weeks of his life battling lung cancer as he struggled to breathe, tethered to an oxygen machine pumping the source of life through his body. Watching him struggle to take in every ounce of air, I recalled the days standing assembly with my children, giving gratitude for the ability to breathe. It was then that I fully understood what taking something for granted truly meant. It is usually something so mundane, so obvious, that we never really stop to think about it. Being grateful for the things we take for granted requires developing some serious muscle. It also brings with it much responsibility. We continue in verse 27 when God created humans on the fifth day. ויברא אלוהים את האדם בצלמו, בצלם אלוהים ברא, אותו זכר ונקבה ברא אותם. And God created man in his image. In the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. On the fifth day, man and woman are created, the only creatures who can continue to participate in God's own creative act, the only creatures on earth who bear moral choice and consequences for our actions. But what does it mean to be born in the image of God? Without a visual, we are left with the question, the intention behind it, and the moral obligation it poses. Like breathing, I have taken my white skin color and privileges it affords me for granted. I have seldomly questioned it nor stopped to consider what it truly means. In 1988, the feminist scholar Peggy McIntosh, who taught at Wellesley College right here, wrote about the concept of an invisible backpack. She writes, "I've come to see white privilege as an invisible backpack of unearned assets which I can count on cashing in each day, but about which I was meant to remain oblivious. White privilege is like an invisible, weightless knapsack of special provisions, maps, passports, code books, visas, clothes, tools, and blank checks." The last few years, and particularly since the racial murder of George Floyd and the COVID outbreak, a giant spotlight has been shifted, now shining on what can be ignored or shoved aside no longer. Like for many, these have been years of reckoning for me. The idea that racial structure in which one race or religion holds itself above others should be in question. It must be. And yet, it is too easy to point fingers or blame others for inequality and racism, when in fact we all play a role. I play a role. I've come to believe that being created in the image of God means not taking for granted my skin color, but rather considering the responsibilities it brings. I must consider what it means to walk into a store while being white. Think about what it means to sit in a lobby of a hotel, not feeling the glances of others, thinking you might be out of place. How about the gift of speaking fluent English? I must consider how it might feel being a black doctor, having a patient refuse treatment from you. I must think about a white police officer taking away a person's right to breathe. In investigating my white privilege, I need to reflect on my deeply instilled judgments. I must step away, back, and reflect on what it means to be created in the image of a just and equal society. To be created in the image of God means searching for the humanity in each other, not taking it for granted, but working at it and seeking it every day, making space for others who, on the surface, do not look like me. This, I believe, would be continuing to participate in God's creation. As a mixed media artist, I read the text of creation and think of Bereshit, the genesis of an art piece, the magnitude of a blank canvas, the white void, the power that lies within it, and the opportunity it might provide. As artists, we joke that the hardest thing is actually not completing a piece, but rather starting it. The act of creation can be daunting. What if we treated every day like a blank canvas, taking a paintbrush and setting a metaphorical intention to the daily creation of a just and equal society? An opportunity to consider what we do with what we've got. This November, I will present my second solo show at Beacon Gallery in Boston. You're all welcome to come visit. The show, titled Humanity is Not a Spectator Sport, addresses the ongoing conflicts of systemic racism, inequality, and our shared humanity as seen through my Jewish white woman lens. It is a culmination of a long reflection on the notion of my privileges I have absolutely taken for granted. It is a call to opt in, to reconsider, to reevaluate, and ultimately to continue to participate in God's creation. As Ibrahim X. Kendi tells Ezra Klein in his July podcast, it is only through changing racially discriminating policies that we can change minds and truly make a difference towards racial equality. I hope the work in the show will provoke, cause discomfort, and challenge. Most importantly, I hope to encourage and inspire others to engage in difficult conversations. It is only through stepping back and considering our role and participation, or the lack thereof, in society, that we can ultimately choose to be active upstanders rather than bystanders. While we may not all have the same passions, if we work to challenge policies for the better, we will improve the world as a whole immeasurably. As Kendi says, an anti-racist future depends on the actions of yours, of mine, of all of ours together. I admit the task at hand seems insurmountable. It is then that I recall from the Mishnah the saying, Lo aleinu hamlacha ligmor, velo ata ben churin litbatel mimena. You're not obligated to complete the work, but neither are you free to desist from it. What strokes, actions, and marks will you put down on your canvas this year? What canvas might we paint together? I invite you to join me on this journey and engage in this conversation internally and with the people around you. It is only by looking back that we can move forward. Shana Tova. May it be a year in which we find the humanity in each other beyond the color of our skin. Shana Tova.
Karen, yasher koach. Toda raba. So as Karen described, second day of Rosh Hashanah at Temple Beth Elohim, we read creation, the Genesis story beginning with chapter 1. I'm not even sure if it's in the new Machzor as an option.
Let me double
But
check
that's
that,
okay.
Rabbi.
It's a familiar story.
It's a
I'll give a
familiar
little
story, but I will look for the page number. In fact, I think it's right here in the back as an alternative reading.
330, thank you.
Rabbi. I
All
was
right.
right there, 330. Thank you for following along in your Machzor. And for our first reader today, it is with great joy that I call up my colleague, Rabbi Vanessa Harper. Ta'amod harav tova malka bat Yaakov achana ve'Yaakov la'aliyah rishona.
Seeing that Vanessa is up here, why don't we have Josh join her for our first Aliyah? Their first
Convenient,
High
'cause
Holy Days at TBE.
He is reading next. So
he's
it
reading
works
next.
Beautifully.
That's okay. You can't have too many honors. Josh, come on up with your wife.
We need a microphone over here, Rabbi.
The odds go up exponentially of getting an Aliyah during COVID. So, one of the blessings and the liminal moments that Rabbi Sherman described. Yes. You can both join together.
Wait, oh, we're both?
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamborach.
Baruch Adonai Hamorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. Venatan lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz ve'haaretz hayta tohu vavohu ve'choshech al pnei tehom ve'ruach Elohim merachefet al pnei hamayim vayomer Elohim yehi or vayar Elohim et haor ki tov vayavdel Elohim bein haor uvein hachoshech vayikra Elohim laor yom v'lachoshech kara layla vayi'er vayivoker yom echad.
Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher natan lanu Torat emet. V'chayei olam nata b'tocheinu. Baruch Ata Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. And for asking God's blessing upon the two of you, Josh, in my office, I was saying to Vanessa before the service today that I think she noticed that to serve at Temple Beth Elohim, you have to love spontaneity. Because I love spontaneity in prayer. So that means, dear colleagues, I'm going to ask you to share a word of blessing of what they need. So I'm going to begin with the words. This is like improv. So, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, O God, God of our forefathers and mothers, bless Vanessa and Josh on this sacred day as we welcome them into our community, a new year, a new beginning, a new journey alongside all of us. May they be blessed with great wisdom, patience, courage.
May they be blessed with a road beneath their feet that they can feel all of the bumps and smooth path as well.
And beautiful creative energy.
With blessing, comfort, and joy.
With blessing,
Blessing,
comfort, and joy.
May you be blessed with flexibility and harmony. And may you lean into the family that we all have leaned into and love here.
And may they be blessed with great health in the year ahead so that they may be able to share their own Torah with all of us. And let us all say,
Amen.
Yasher Koach. Who's our second reader?
Josh. Very strategic rabbi. Ya'amod Yehoshua ben Tzviah ubarach la'aliyah shniya.
For the second aliyah, how about any students here who have become bar bat mitzvah in the last 5 years? You missed school, you deserve an aliyah on.
This is also strategic because our next reader fits into
Oh,
that
wow, this is
category.
just-
You're just
wow.
blowing my mind
Wow,
here.
you're going to start asking me for lottery numbers soon. 6 years. Do I? He's an adult too much, not a young adult.
So Asher, Elijah,
You're all adults, but
come on up. Was there another in the past five or
Great.
6 years? I'm looking.
bro. What's that?
Yes,
Oh,
I
they've
know.
been tested too?
So come on over this way.
Let's leave our mess on anyway. But
on my side over here.
that's right,
Asher,
because they've been
Elijah.
Torah readers.
Beautiful. Come on over.
Go for it.
Blessing before. If anybody want to, Pearl, do you want to? Come on over. We're going to touch our tallit down here. Give it a kiss. Perfect. And the blessing before.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamborach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
אמן. ויאמר אלוהים יהי רקיע בתוך המים, המים ויהי מבדיל בין מים למים. ויעש אלוהים את הרקיע ויבדל בין המים אשר מתחת לרקיע ובין המים אשר מעל הרקיע. ויהי כן, ויקרא אלוהים לרקיע שמים, ויהי ויהי בוקר יום שני. ויאמר אלוהים, ויקבו המים מתחת השמים אל מקום אחד, ותראה היבשה. ויהי כן, ויקרא אלוהים ליבשה ארץ, ולמקווה המים קרא ימים. וירא אלוהים כי טוב. ויאמר אלוהים תדשא הארץ דשא עשב מזריע זרע עץ פרי עושה פרי למינו אשר זרעו על הארץ. ויהי כן, ותוצא הארץ דשא עשב מזריע זרע למינו ועץ עושה פרי אשר זרעו למינו. וירא אלוהים כי טוב. ויהי ויהי בוקר יום שלישי.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
And we ask for God's blessing upon you on this Rosh Hashanah day with the words Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu. O God, God of our forefathers and mothers, bless all of these individuals who stand here today. Bless them with the knowledge that they can make a difference and lead our people even when they didn't expect it. Bless them with great health, with great patience, with great humor, with great knowledge, with great, great love for our Jewish people and for all the peoples of the world. And let us all say, Amen. Yasher koach, everyone.
To stay up here it is tradition to remain on the bima for the next reader. So if Elijah and Pearl, you want to just stand over here while our friend Asher chants our third aliyah. It is my honor to call up my student and dear friend Asher. Ya'amud Asher Michael ben Yehuda ve'Elisheva la'aliyah shlishi.
And for a third aliyah, are we able to bring in the Zoom cameras into the sanctuary at this point? Are we able to turn those on, Maddie? It'd be nice to see people, because I would love to honor. Fantastic. Anyone who has engaged in the work of our caring community this year, whether it be by knitting a shawl, bringing a meal, making a phone call. Actually, we didn't do a lot of meals this year because of COVID, I think. Or shawls, is that true? We did shawls, yes. Good. Anyway, phone calls, anyone in the room? If no one, great. Just to stand at your chair if you want to come up, whatever's most comfortable. But
You're welcome to.
Good. We'll just keep our masks on.
Carol, Marlene, Laura, whatever's comfortable.
Come over here so you can see. Okay?
And on Zoom as well. We see you. I see Renee.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher barach banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayomer Elohim, Yehi me'orot birkiya hashamayim, lehavdil, ben hayom uven halayla, vehayu leotot umoadim, ulyamim veshanim, vehayu limorot birkiya hashamayim, Lehair al haaretz, vayehi chen, vayas Elohim, et shnei hameorot hagadolim, et hamaor hagadol, lememshelet hayom, ve'et hamaor hakaton, lememshelet halayla, ve'et hakochavim, vayitein otam, Elohim birkiya hashamayim, lehair al haaretz, vilimshol bayom uvalayla, ulhavdil ben haor uven hachoshech, vayar Elohim ki tov, vayehi erev vayehi voker, yom revi'i.
Yasher koach asher.
Together, the second blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'derechenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Oh, God, bless these loving souls on the Bima and on Zoom. Those who do the amazing work of love and caring in our community with packages and shawls and phone calls and food. Oh, God, strengthen them as they continue in the sacred work, bringing healing and joy to those in need. And let us all say, Amen. Yasher koach, everyone. Shana tova. Good yantaf. Let's all rise as we're going to now lift the scroll.
Zot HaTorah asher sam Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael, al pi Adonai v'yad Moshe. Yalai lai lai lai, yalai lai lai lai, yalai lai lai lai, yalai lai lai lai, yalai lai lai, yalai lai lai, yalai lai lai So I really tapped into my clergy team this year to help, and talented students to help with our Torah and Haftarah. So it is with great pleasure and honor that I call up my colleague, rabbinic intern Ryan Lesner, to bless and offer our Haftarah reading for today. Our Haftarah reading can be found. Is it okay if I take your roll, Ryan? Our Haftarah blessings before can be found on 247, and our reading on page 250 today.
Our reading's on 338.
Our reading is on page 338, Ryan. Thank you so much.
I got you. I'm learning.
You're doing great.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratza v'divreihem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah uv'Moshe avdo uv'Yisrael amo uv'nvi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek. Dirshu Adonai bihimatzo
kira'uhu bioto karov. Yazov rasha darko ve'ish aven machshavotav. Vayashov el Adonai v'yirachamehu ve'el Eloheinu ki yarbe lisloach. Ki lo machshavotai machshavotechem ve'lo drachechem darachai ne'um Adonai. Ki gavahu shamayim me'aretz Ken gavhu darachai midrachechem umachshavotai mimachshavotechem ki kasher yered hageshem vehasheleg min hashamayim veshama lo yashuv ki Im hirva et haaretz veholida vihitzmicha venatan zera lezoreya velechem laochel. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Tzur kol haolamim Sadik bechol hadorot Ha'el ha'ne'eman Ha'omer ve'oseh Ha'medaber u'mekayem Shekol devarav Emet v'tzedek Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al hanvi'im ve'al yom hazikaron hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu lechavod ultifaret Al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach u'mevarachim otach yitbarach shimcha befi kol chai tamid le'olam va'ed Udvaracha emet v'kayam la'ad Baruch atah Adonai Melech al kol haaretz Mekadesh Yisrael ve'yom hazikaron.
Amen. Let's all rise as we return the Torah to the ark.
למחזיקים בה בתומכך מאושר דרכיה דרכי נועם וכל נתיבותיה
Let's remain standing as we continue with our shofar service. And as I described yesterday, rather than have the full shofar service with its three parts, Malchuyot, Zichronot, Shofarot, instead we've condensed our shofar service for our safety this year to one set of calls. And rather than experience the liturgy of the prayer book, Noah composed a new piece that includes the shofar blessing. And so thank you, Josh and Noah, for leading this portion. It looks like Rob is ready. We even have the camera outside so that those on Zoom can see Rob sounding the shofar. The mitzvah is to hear. So we are blessing the ability to hear the sounds. So you might even want to inside close your eyes and focus on the call. Arise.
Arise and open up your eyes. It's time to wake up from your sleep and hear the cries. Arise and let your light shine. Now שהחיינו, שהחיינו, וקיימנו, והגיענו לזמן הזה. Time to wake up from your sleep and hear the cries. Arise and let your light shine. Now is the time to hear the calls and start to rise. With me now, yadadai, 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 yadadai.
Page 268. Together. Tzikia. Shvarim Teruah. Tzikia. Tzikia. Shvarim. Tzikia. Tzikia. Teruah. And finally, Tzikia Gedolah. Yasher Koach to our Baltikia. Ay, nay, 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 yadadai, 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 Prayer books 286. Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהן, וקור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. 288 ביום ההוא יהיה אחד ושמו אחד.
Page 292, Words of Mourners Kaddish. And at this time we invite the mourners in our midst So please rise or raise a hand so that we can acknowledge you as mourners. And on Zoom, we invite anyone observing a yortzeit or currently within the period of mourning. So please use the chat room to record the names of those individuals you're remembering. Allison? Henry? Please. Julie? And so then, in support of the mourners in our midst and those on Zoom, we invite you to all rise if you're able. Page 292. And if we can place the words on the screen, I think they are on the screen on Zoom. We recite together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah. V'yamad yivrach ruteh v'yamlich malchuteh. V'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayeh d'chol beit Yisrael. Pagala uvizman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah m'varach le'olam olamei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei t'kudusha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechamata. Ta'amiran v'yama v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru
There's so much going on, but we've got the inner circle today, so you may as well, let's plug a few programs.
Well, there's a
this
few
week.
programs that are happening within the 10 days between
Yeah.
Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. One specifically is on Sunday at 1 o'clock. We have an opportunity to engage with members of the Parent Circle, which is a program in Israel bringing Israeli and Palestinian families together who've lost children in war and in terror in conversation in the process of teshuvah and reconciliation. So I hope you'll join us on Zoom Sunday at 1 o'clock.
A few more things that I was going to share. One is that our youth team, who has been producing our TBE podcast, is at it again, and will be coming out with a Yom Kippur podcast that will be ready in just a few short days. Asher, right? No pressure. We hope that it will be available for you to reflect as you prepare for Yom Kippur on the theme of Cheshbon HaNefesh, counting our soul.
Then along with the podcasts, we have playlists on Spotify for walks through nature and
We have actually 6, one for nature, one for introspection, one for gratitude, one for love, one for forgiveness, and one for hope. There's also one where you can contribute your own songs that you feel connect you to the High Holy Days so that we can create a community playlist. And I actually want to take this opportunity to thank Mark Feldhusen on piano, and again, Miriam, Rebecca, Noam, Ben, Beth, Jenny, Jay, Josh, and Noah for helping to elevate our worship today. Once again.
There's no lunch afterwards this year. Aw. But 4:30, we're going to gather for Tashlich. Then we have Shabbat Shuvah this week, followed by Minyan on Saturday. The program's listed. We have the food drive. We need to remember a lot of charities really rely on us at this time of year. And then mark your calendar for the full day, Yom Kippur, from morning to we end typically 6:30, 7 o'clock. So
I also want to thank Cantor Safran for joining me on the Bima throughout this Rosh Hashanah.
let's conclude with,
Hayom Ta'amseinu.
let's give a page. Hayom is 294.
294.
Hayom tivarchenu.
Amen.
Hayom tigadlenu.
Amen. Hayom Tidrosh תעשנו לטובה.
אמן.
היום תכתבנו לחיים טובים. אמן. או אמן. 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 היום תאמצנו אמן.
היום תשמע שוועתנו.
אמן.
היום תשמחנו וידים צדקך.
אמן.
או
אמן. 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 היום תאמצנו אמן. היום תאמצנו
Let's be protective of each other's personal space, but greet each other in a way that's comfortable and Hamish, perhaps outside. Shana Tova. Happy New Year.
Grabbing the mic, no, I don't know.